All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to head apostle, and that is a great millstone, and rule well and teach well. This is the brother Mattathiah from the GMS Virginia camp coming to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the true, holy, powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai being the true, holy, powerful name of his only begotten Son, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus and Christ. Bahashem is in the name, and Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson. And I want to touch on a couple articles concerning the wildlife on the planet Earth, okay? Because over half of the wildlife has vanished in 40 years or so, okay? And we all know why, or you should know why, which we're going to get into in this video, okay? It says the statistics stating half of global wildlife has vanished originated from the WWF Living Planet report. Updated findings indicate a staggering 73% plunge in monitored wildlife populations. I'm going to read that again. Updating findings indicating a staggering 73% plunge in monitored wildlife populations. Man. And this is all under the ruleship of Esau Edom. Okay. Freshwater species, 76%. Terrestrial species, elephants, lions, and tigers, I believe, 39%. And marine species, which I believe that is saltwater, in your oceans, down 39%, right? And this is all under the rulership of none other than Esau Edom. Esau Edom is destroying the earth, okay? Here's another graph right here. Wildlife populations worldwide have plummeted from the 1970s to the 2010. All right. And it gives you the different categories of, the so-called reasons of the various different species dying: habitat change, pollution, habitat loss, disease, climate change, so-called climate change, and this is all enforced by who? Esau Edom. All right. He's polluting the water. He's polluting the air. He's polluting the land. He's polluting the oceans. He's even trying to pollute space. Right. And every day he's trying to further his pollution. Not only is he seeking to set up data centers all over the planet Earth, but he's seeking to put data centers in space. Okay. Which these data centers have a very negative effect on wildlife, on the animals, the ecosystem, etc. Okay. Let's click on this one. Yeah, well, the main threat, because these so-called experts are given the reasons for the threat of species, climate change, pollution, and all these various different things. The main threat to species, to human life, and to animal life is Esau Edom. Okay, Esau Edom is the main threat, and he's been put in the position of power by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, pursuing to Job 9:24. And with his power, he has ruled in anger. He's disgruntled. And like the scripture says in Proverbs, when the righteous and authority of the people rejoice, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. But not just our people mourning, the wildlife, the animals, the whole earth is in mourning under the rulership of Esau Edom. Okay, let's get a couple more things in this article, and then we're going to pull out some scriptures. All right, it says habitat loss, deforestation. Who controls deforestation? All right, when you watch the movies, what movies are those? Avatar. All right, when you watch Avatar with a spiritual eye, that's really Esau versus Jake. Esau was destroying the habitat. He was destroying the forests. That's what Esau does. Esau wants to put up concrete over the whole earth. It says urbanization, expanding agriculture. It says overexploitation, unsustained hunting, fishing, and harvesting. Esau hunts for sport. He doesn't hunt to eat. He hunts for sport. He hunts to hang it on the wall of his household. Okay. He's taken all the things out of the ocean that are supposed to be there to keep the ocean clean. He's made the things that you're not supposed to eat a delicacy in society that we live in today. So the whole earth is at a course. Everything has been made and put here for a reason, the circle of life. And Esau has disrupted that. Okay. It says shifts in temperature, weather patterns that alter ecosystem. Well, hey, Esau has these weather modification technologies, to push the ionosphere up higher, to change wave patterns, cloud seeding. Do your research on that. So Esau is affecting the ecosystem, right? It says pollution and invasive species, contamination of waterways. Who's contaminating the waterway? This man is contaminating the waterway via his chemtrails, via data centers, via all this pollution that's coming from these different major corporations that are dumped into the rivers, dumped into the sea, dumped into the water that you drink, right? It says in the introduction of competing and non-native species. It says users broadly agree that this decline points to a critical biological collapse. However, scientists note that the specific population metrics require careful interpretation. Well, we got the careful interpretation to the spirit and power Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. We know the reason. All right. It says, for example, not all populations drops are negative, such as culling invasive species, but the overarching trend confirms on ongoing mass extinction. Right? The scripture says, if it wasn't for the elect's sake, there shall be no flesh alive, man. All right. Esau seeks to destroy everything. Let's pull some scriptures. Let's go to the book. Got a couple scriptures lined up. Ain't gonna make this video too long. Let's start in the book of Revelation 11 and 18. It says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name. And the saints are Israelites. And we've done many videos concerning that. It says, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroyeth the earth. And Esau, Edom, is destroying the earth. And the whole earth is in mourning under his rulership. Let's go to, I'm going to do this. Let's go to Isaiah 14. Let's start in verse 4. It says that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor seized, the golden city seized, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. And this is when Esau, Edom is taken down. These wicked elites, when they're stripped of their power, okay? When Esau, Edom is kicked out of heaven, right? He's kicked out of his rulership. He no longer has might. He no longer has power that he had, right? It says, verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against it. So the whole earth is going to rejoice when Esau, Edom is taken out of power. Esau, Edom seeks to not only destroy the wildlife, destroy a human population, but also he's trying to, destroy the trees. He's trying to take out the Amazon forest, right? He wants to destroy the majority of the Amazon forest, which the overall span of the Amazon forest is bigger than the land mass of America, man. Just put that in perspective. And it's responsible for the majority of the oxygen on the planet Earth. He wants to take that out, man. You no longer need it, right? We no longer need the animals. We no longer need the trees, the plants, right? These animals are causing global warming because, of their farts. Cows farting is a serious is a serious threat concerning these wicked elites. That's what they're trying to push upon the population. We got to take the cows out, the animals. We can just eat mystery meat, right? Hey, we're concerned about the planet. We're concerned about the human. No, he's not. The scriptures say this man is as death. It says, verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at that coming. It stirreth up the dead, even all the chief ones of the earth. It raiseth up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, and all they shall speak and say unto this, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou like art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread over thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? And this is talking about these so-called illuminated ones, these wicked elites, right? These elite Edomite banking families. This is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. That's what your local pastor, your local priest is going to tell you. It says, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Okay. And what proves that is in verse 16, right? Which we'll get to. It says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. And Esau is polluting the outer space. He's bringing up the notion, okay, of putting data centers in outer space to just aid to all the pollution that is already in, the outer atmosphere, right? It says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And here's the point in verse 16 that shows that in verse 12, or proves that in verse 12, that this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. When it says Lucifer, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Key word there is man, right? So this is talking about men, all right? It's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. It says, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof? Is this man not destroying the cities? Is he not destroying the wildlife? And here's the proof right here. And this is not something we just made up. This is from Google. This is from the WWF Living Planet Report. Okay. It says, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. So there you have it, man. Just like we read in Revelation 11, man, this man, he is destroying the earth. And he has the nerve to point the finger at you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as being problems of the earth, which, the majority of our people are very wicked. But the main problem of the earth is Esau, Edom. Okay. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4, and it reads, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. So this man is as death, and death follows this man. Wherever this man goes, wherever he lays his foot, you best believe things are going to die. All right. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. This man cannot be satisfied. Here it is. He has all the money. He has the wealth, the riches. He has the power to control. But he, for some reason, has a problem with the animals. He has a problem with the fish in the sea, right? He has a problem with the insects. He has a problem with fresh water. He has a problem with clean air. Because these things could be, world hunger, the depreciation of wildlife, clean water, no chemtrails and chemicals in the air or the food that you eat. GMO products, all that could be stopped. Esau has the power to do that. He has the power to have no homeless people on the earth. He has the power, that was given to him to clean up the land, to clean up the ocean. But he's not going to do that, man, because he is the wicked. It says, who enlarges his desires as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth him unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake thee shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Esau just kills for sport. He kills for fun, for pleasure and pleasurement. It says, woe to him that covenanteth an evil covenant to his house, that he may set his nest on how high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood, and established a city by iniquity. And that's what Esau Edom has done. He has established his cities, his towns, off the blood of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right. So this land of Babylon the Great has been saturated with the Israelites' blood. And there's only one way to cleanse it, right? Let's get that real quick, and then I want to close out on the book of Romans, the 8th chapter. Bear with me one moment. Let's go to Numbers 35. And we're going to go down to verse, I believe it's 33. Because Esau, he saturated the blood of you Israelites. He's into all types of weird experiments, and not just with humans, with animals. Look at, Dr. Fossey's weird, mad scientist experiments on dogs, on various different animals, under the umbrella of health and science and an embetterment of humanity, right? This is Numbers 35 and 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Simple as that, man. So Esau's blood has and will be shed. Okay? Now let's go to the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, and we'll close out on this. This is Romans 8:19. It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh. All right, so the whole earth is waiting for the kingdom to be established, for the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to be put in power and rulership, which is an everlasting rulership, right? Because under the inhabitants thereof, under the rulership now, the whole earth is suffering. The whole earth is in mourning, even down to the people. You would think that this man being in power, that his people would be good, his people would be straight. Wrong. Like Charlie Murphy said on Dave Chappelle joint, right? He said wrong. He said Rick James was a habitual line stepper. Esau Edom is a habitual line stepper. Okay, he's got to be taken out. That's the only way peace is going to come, is Esau Edom being stripped and be taken of his power, right? Let's read that again. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestations of the sons of Yahweh. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the head apostle, that is a great millstone, who rule well and teach well. To the next time, Shalom.